Hello everyone. I hope everybody is doing extremely well. So today is the third installment of the LLD series, and today we are going to discuss about Amazon e-commerce. So Amazon has a lot of services, right? So this is one of the very basic, or I would say very popular question to solve, because it gives so much idea around so many relationship around the how the classes should be designed, how like events should be raised, and how a requirement to be translated from basic text to your class, your methods, how to identify various repositories, everything. We will be able to explore here, and again this is going to be a fairly large video, considering that there will be multiple steps that we are going to follow. So what we are going to do is, at first we are going to just understand our requirement. So here you see all these things that I have written here. These are our requirements. We cannot really go and solve all the problems, right? So anytime you are given any problem statement, there will be a bunch of requirements to you, and based on that you need to start writing code. And any senior engineer, whoever will be whoever looking into this, what we must understand that these requirements are only from the business perspective, and they need to be translated into our technology classes and whatnot. So the steps that we are going to follow is, at first we are going to decipher our requirements. So there are like 11 points of requirements that I have jotted down. And other than that, once we are done with our requirement, what we are going to do is we are going to go through the basic classes, how our basic classes will be. Then from there, few of the conceptual thing we will try to understand, like why association among these classes might not be very fruitful here. Then we will try to refactor our code in multiple ways. At first we will try to make it solid compliant, to make sure that single responsibility principle or open close principles, interface segregation, those things are being followed properly. Then we will try to uh, divide our code into things like domain driven design. So once we make our code in domain driven design, then we will try to identify if any good design pattern we are able to apply there or not. So here, not exactly, probably like when I was looking into the problem statement more than design pattern, what I felt was, I was I thought that if we can use observable or event driven programming using delegates and events, that would be a good addition here. So that I will try to explore, and also will go into the reasoning why I thought of selecting that. So okay, without further ado, let's start with deciphering our requirements and try to gain some insights into it. So the first thing that we will be looking here is, the user should be able to add new products. So when we are saying that the user should be able to add new products, so that pretty much gives us the first thing, that a particular user, there can be of two categories, right? Like either they can be like a normal user, like who are the buyer, and then there can be users like seller. So once we are so maybe we can keep some flag, or we can add something like the seller must have some kind of a GSTIN number or a TAN number, which are related to or some kind of a business license number. Those kind of things we can use to segregate the buyer and seller. So that is one of the thing, like we'll be able to do. Any user, we should be able to segregate them as buyer and seller. And what the user will be able to do is, user should be able to basically search you, yeah, so user should be able to basically search from the product catalog, like as we all know, like the moment anybody goes into Amazon, the first thing that they do is they go to they go to the search box and try to search something. So this is going to be one of the primary function of the user, and it can be like various thing they should be able to do, like product name, product category, etc. So we will not go very detail in that. We will try to make it only like a string they will be passing, and with the advent of AI we can think that our backend will be intelligent enough to go through some vector database and give us good amount of results on that, some kind of a strong auto suggestion system. So once user is able to search, then what they will be able to do is, like, if he is registered, so both of this buyer and seller, they will be the registered users. So only if the user is being registered, they will be then able to buy. So this will be a standard flow, like user able to search, and then if registered, then they will be able to buy. Okay. Now also now let's talk about the some of the seller functionality. So what a seller will be able to do? A seller will be able to, sorry, yeah, so a seller will be able to let's talk about seller now. So seller will be able to do few things like add, update, or delete product. So add product or update or delete, this kind of functionalities they should be able to do. And other than that, uh, again, few of the user specific things will be there, like if I just remove this thing a little bit here, one second. Yeah, so I'm just removing the seller thing a little bit on this side. I will try to connect here. Okay, so these are the seller things. And what further the user will be able to do is, other than this, the user will be able to do things like they should be able to add into their cart any product that they are putting, like in our normal e-commerce we see, right, like adding in cart and then making the payment. So payment, they have said that it will be some kind of like uh, multi options of payment, like it can be debit, credit, etc. Debit card, credit card, neft, all these things can be there, like net banking. And then there will be what else, then yeah, of course, review addition. So product reviews, user can be able to add the product reviews. And other than product reviews, user should always be able to cancel an order in case the order is not being shipped, also track their orders. So user should be able to track, user should be able to cancel an order, track it, and also he should be able to get their track their shipment. um, and also there is like notification on status change of order. These are the primary things that we should be looking at for the buyer. So like in a nutshell, these are the basic requirements are. So there will be users. So users, once they are registered, there can be two sort of a user, either they can be buyer or they can be a seller. So a registered buyer, they should be able to, like, this all are for buying these functionalities are there. A registered buyer should be able to add into a cart. They should be able to add like make payment for their order. They should be able to add review to their product, get notification, track, and also cancel a certain order. Whereas seller, mostly they will be able to add product or update, delete. Their seller should be having multitude of other operations like add GSTs, add their taxation informations, add their accounts and stuff. But again, we will not be going into that detail. So let's get into a very basic like class diagrams. So when I say class diagram, we will again try to yeah. So we will try to get few things straightened up. So if we are having a s- user, okay. So once the user is registered, so definitely like the user should be having a few fields like user ID, address, etc. And I think there is one thing was related to the address as well. Yeah. So address is also an important thing because it is related to the order, right? So user will have user ID, address, and also some other things like their phone number, all this information. And considering that this is a uh, this this is one of the parent class, so we can have a child class from the user, that is a seller. So seller primarily should have things like seller ID plus something like GSTIN number, some sort of like PAN or tax information, etc. Okay, so user and seller. So basically here the it will be a easier relationship. Like user is can be a seller, and in case he has certain privileges of updating the product. Okay, so other than that, there will be like the two most important class. What would be the product and the order. So product will be again an independent class, like it will have all the product information like product ID. So current inventory count maybe. So inventory count, actual price, discounted price, and yeah, there can be many other things like whether something is available or not. So I'm again not going into those things, those granular things, because it will make the our discussion really huge. Other than product, there will this important field will be order. So order will again have order IDs. So order, interestingly, they will have a few relationship with the payment. So there can be amount and there can be some of the order line items. For example, a single order can have multiple line items, which is will be a type of like list of products. So an order might have multiple line items, right? Like they can be a list of products. Now considering this, like we have our most important classes here. Other than that, we also have seen something like the cart. So cart and everything we can do on the fly as well, but let's have some basic idea around cart. So cart will have a like cart can have multiple products. So this will be the essence of the cart. Other than the like basic fields like amounts, the units. So it will have list of products and units of each product. So these are the two important information it should in uh, it should have. Now also with product there will be the product review. The product review table will be there, which will deal with the description and like what is the rating, like you can give like 1 to 5, something like that. So all this information our product review table will do. So this is on a very high level, few important tables I have listed here, not again all the tables. So we will have some things like the payment table. We will have also shipment details and something related to the notification, as well as users will be getting the notifications from the system. So these are the basic classes. So let's get into the code, then probably few things will be more clear to us. So let's go to the code. So here I have created again a class library. So I would request you to go to file, new project, and create a class library. And we can try to identify all the domain entities around that at first, and then from there we will try to build our rest of the application. So in my class library project, what I will initially do is I will create a folder. It can be like, we can name it either domain or entities or models. So I'm just going ahead with the models, and let's start with our most important classes. So for example, our most important classes, as we were discussing, will be the product, probably initial class we can take up. So there is this product ID. So then there will be like product name. Then there will be product descriptions. So if you remember, like while we were discussing about our requirements, there is one of the thing that came is like user should be able to search product uh, with the name or their category. So category can be like kitchen appliances, groceries, it can be electronics. So we can have some kind of a either enum, or in this case I think the best will be to have a separate class of product category, which I will create as product category. Now this class I will create, like Visual Studio IntelliSense should help me. So if I'm going to, yeah, so I'm going to create a new class of the product category. Again, I might be I might be revisiting again product category, like what are the different product categories to give, but I think you got the idea, right? Like kitchen appliances, electronics, these are the different kind of product categories, and user should be able to search by that. So now coming to the few other important thing, like there can be something like unit price, or we can even extrapolate it like the amount, discounted amount or something. And then also one important thing will be available inventory. Okay, so unit price, available inventory, product category, product description, these are the very basic thing that we got. And the inventory, again, we will not be concentrating a lot on that, but just keeping it there. Now let's come to the users. So I will create another class. So this is, when I say user account, this is basically the registered user account. So once somebody is registering, they should be able to have that. So of course, like I will start with a GUID, and then there will be like a name. Uh, then there can be something like username. Then there can be a string of phone number. And of course there will be something called addresses. So address can be a separate class, but address will have those, again, basic elementary fields like the street address, the pin code and those things. So I am not going into those that basic class. I am not creating again. I'm just keeping it as a string here. Again, like in your actual application, definitely uh, like you should be creating a like the addresses as a separate class. Okay, so ID, name, username, phone number, and the addresses. These are the pretty basic things. And now, as we were discussing, a particular user, if he has his PAN number, his tax information, GST number, these things, if he has included, then he will become a seller. So I will take advantage of inheritance here, and what I will do is I will create a sorry GUID we will not need. What I will create is I will create a, string of GSTIN. I will create a string of, so that is the GST number it will give. I will create a string of like tan, and also I will create a string for tax address, like if he is having a tax address or business license number, something like that. So you got the idea that the seller account will have GSTIN, it will have TAN, it will have things like tax address, etc. So now we have our user account set. Now from there, let's come to the one more most important thing, that is the orders. So for orders, of course, like we will identify order with the order ID, a GUID, but just understand this thing, an order is always associated with a user ID. So without a user, order cannot exist. So two things we can do: either we can give a particular user a list of order, or what we can do is this order we can add a our GUID as user ID. So this user ID is practically this GUID. So now every order is uniquely identifiable here. Every order is uniquely identifiable here. So and in any order, what we might have multiple products. So public list of product products. Now the now a strange thing is that like any product that we add in our cart, we will always see that there are options to add uh, multiple options for any product, right? Like either I can add 1 unit, 2 unit, and many seller specific things as well. So all those things we need to take account in account here. For a single product there can be multiple accounts, so there can be multiple units. So what I'm going to I need to find a way to specify that. So as you see, for any product, what I will try to do is, here I am trying to apply uh, okay, let me explain it. So here the thing that I have applied here, this is nothing but called tuples. So tuples is basically a set of records we can write, like for example here alongside uh, product int, and suppose we also want to specify that I want this product in a certain city. Okay, or like I want this product from a certain seller. So we can even add the seller account here. So we can add n number of properties here when we are trying to when we are creating a tuple. So this is a very good convenience that C# is giving us. So now the thing is that like alongside this we are also going to have against every order a particular shipping address we should be having. So here shipping address I'm putting, and then there will be like some kind of a order status. So order can be like in multiple uh, like it can be either in a cancel state, or it can be in a received state, or it can be like delivered, returned, on the way. There can be multiple states, right? So let's create a enum for that. So we will create public enum order status. So there can be things like on the way, there can be like delivered, return requested, returned, sorry, delivered, I'm putting it again. So yeah, this four, and also yeah, one more thing will be useful here, cancelled, because for cancelled they have mentioned in the requirement a specific thing around the cancelled. For this one, I'm going to put this order status as order status. Now I'm having these details, and alongside that, I also need to understand my order tracking status, like from which state to which state my order currently is my order currently is transferred right now, like whether it is in a transit or it is to be delivered by a certain delivery boy today. So for that, I will have a separate field. Let have it like something like order shipment details. So when I say order shipment details, I have created it in a new file, and this is again going to be an important class for us, which we didn't discuss there. But shipment is in any e-commerce system is probably a customer's most important data right after their payments and all. So we will create a shipment ID. So there can be like a shipment name. Shipment name should be like something related to the order only, something related to that order. We can name a shipment to some point. So then there can be something like shipment status list, like to understand the system is like from it is dispatched, in transit, it is in your city, it is out for delivery, delivered, all these things. So for that I will definitely need something like public list of string shipment status list. And one more important thing will be shipment current status. So we can put something like again public string current shipment status. So you might argue that this is redundant with this one, but like probably just to get the latest shipment status so that user can always see, I will keep it as a separate property, that's all. But ideally this is basically like if I look at properly, this is shipment status listed. This will be the last or default. Okay, so last or default means whatever the last shipment status list, it will be that. So I'm just keeping it as a separate field for the time being. Later we will again work on this class further. So now we have all the things in the order in place. Yeah, we have the shipment details, we have the list of products and units. We will see later if we are missing anything. Now again in our model, we are going to have another important thing as like we always add our cart anything that we are going to order. Generally Amazon gives us something like direct buy, or it let you add in your cart, and then from that cart you totally create an order out of it. So I will create another class for that purpose. So cart, again this is going to be again a very interesting class. So in our cart, what are the things there will be in our cart? There will be of course a grid to identify the cart ID. Other than that, a cart will be always associated with a certain user ID, so that also I need to mention. So here generally what happens, there are two things we can do. We can create a cart here, like we can just in our user account we can create a cart instance, but I will try to avoid association. Okay, yeah, let's discuss it in a little detail, like why not this? I mean, public cart, why we shouldn't be doing this, or like in this current context, why this might not be a best idea. Generally, when we are writing our application, so I will just take this and put it here. Yeah, so generally, whenever we are writing our application, if you see any modern day application, they are being written in a complete bounded context domain way. So when I use this term bounded context, don't get overwhelmed. Bounded context means we will try to make any service or any library only bounded to this one, and that applies to our class as well. So when we think about the bounded context plus single responsibility principle, so user account class shouldn't be handling the cart specifically, right? Like the context of the cart is again coming into a user account. So when later we are going to segregate things maybe as a different microservice or something like, then our code will not be modularized enough. So this might not be a very good idea right now. This particular part, this cart, having this cart might not be a very good idea, because as I was telling, cart is a different context. It is coming into the user account, although it is associated, it has some association with user account. So the best thing will be like not to use cart here. Rather, we will go here and use public quid user ID. Okay. Now in our cart, what do we add? In our cart, we generally add a list of the product and its unit. So what I'm going to do is public list of product, and alongside that I will also add, sorry, it will be an integer products and units. Okay, so we have this thing sorted, uh, our cart. So we have our products and units and cart. Okay, yeah, I think our cart is fine. Then we will get into our payment class. So payment will have something like payment. Okay, let me at first create the class. Payment should be having, yeah, of course, it will start with a grid. A payment will have a payment ID, and it should be having a certain payment mode. So for that, I will create a enum. So payment mode can be debit card, credit card, cash, NEFT, etc. So for any payment, what we are going to do is we are going to create a in which payment mode it is being paid. And of course, in any payment, the important field will be amount. So the amount to be paid. Okay. So here we have all the details with the for the payment, and also with the order we can have something like this payment information associated with it, so that user can later uh, yeah, so that user can later see it, uh, later see their payment. And again, like in case we want to keep them totally separate bounded, so what we can do is in our payment class, alternatively we can create a GUID of order ID, so we know against which order a certain payment is there. So both of the things we can do, but like we are just keeping it as a association, because order and payment, at times they can be handled by a same team also. So we are just keeping this thing in our perception as doing that. In case anything is required, or anybody here disagrees, uh, you can write your you can write in a different way as well, instead of putting the association of the payment in the order class. So now we have the details of the payment, we have the details of the okay. Now another requirement was regarding the product reviews. So if you see here, there was a requirement on yeah, there was a requirement on notification. This is something we need to do, and add a review. So product review and notification, there are two classes we have to do. So at first let's do product review, and we will discuss few points regarding product review. So there will be a product review ID, of course. There will be product review ID. So alongside that product review ID, we will need to identify for which product we are writing, or the we or the user is writing the product review. So that needs to be identified, this product ID, and which user is writing that. So that will be again uh, product review user ID. Uh, they should be able to give some kind of a rating, right? We were discussing. So something like product review rating, this can be useful. And I think we also wrote it in our basic class. In the product review, we were trying to get our rating, and of course our description will be there. So there will be like product review description. Okay, now let's have a small discussion, like why we are not uh, putting our product review here with the product. So generally, like if a product class is there, what we can do is product list of product review we can add. But what problem it will cause, let's discuss a little bit. Like again, why association might not be like creating blind association might not be a good idea. So here, if you see, now let's talk about in Amazon. What happens is, in Amazon, when you make a w- when a certain product is being listed, okay, so is immediately all the reviews are getting populated? If you see closely, the answer is no. The reviews are lazy loaded. So lazy load means only once it is requested, only once that review is requested, like once user go to the preview section, once they do this like next or sort by 5-star review or 1-star review, then they are getting the reviews. So if we are doing this list, we will probably dictate our APIs, like now we are doing the low level design, right? Like we will probably dictate our APIs or stored procedure in database to fetch all the review list at once alongside the product, which might not be a good idea. So this kind of design will not be is not very memory efficient, because all the review list, like any popular product might have like 10,000, 15,000. I don't know what is the highest level of reviews any product has in Amazon, but it can be really large, and product do have images, product list sorry review list do have images, texts, many things along with them. So we will probably not need all of these things. So instead of keeping it as association, what we will do is we will keep it as um, like normal review description, sorry, with the normal the product ID, we will keep it as like a foreign key relationship sort of a thing we will keep. So product review is done, and also as we were discussing, the notification is something that is important. So notification is going to be, it has a age old type sort of a thing, like it generally have a grid of notification ID. Other than that, it will have string title, and there will be description. Okay. And so there has to be a enum as well. So the enum will be public enum notification type. So, or notification mode, I would say. It can be like email, it can be SMS, email or SMS, or what else is there? Email, SMS, or it can be push notification. So all these things can be. So here it will be like mode of notification. I just fast forwarded a little bit so that it saves some time, like this notification mode and everything. So if we have pretty much our base models ready uh, with cart, notification order, and you can see so many classes are there. Now let's go into our requirement and try to understand uh, what are our methods will be, and we will at first create our very basic methods in our model classes only, then we will gradually refactor it for our solid principles, or design patterns and domain driven design, whatnot. Okay, so as we see that users should be able to add new products to sell. So when I go to product, so in any product, there will be methods like add, delete. So there should be something like public void add product, and in that product we will pass the whole product. Then public void remove product, there even the product ID would be enough. So I think string, if we put it as product ID, it will be enough. And then we can also update the product. So I will just copy paste this and create another method for updation. Okay, so this will be the basic methods for the product, and which seller, we will also need the information of the seller. So seller account will be like seller info, right? And here somebody, suppose somebody is changing the seller info, so we will need this seller info here. So product of course is associated with the seller. So while adding or updating, this seller account information will be required. As you see, this has been our first requirement. So this part is being done. This part is being done. Okay. Now we will talk about this one. User should be able to search. Again, pretty innocent function we are going to write. We are not going to make it complicated by any means. Get all products by search. So we are going to pass some kind of a search string, and what this search string will do is it will return a list of product. So I'm just keeping it simple for the time being. And okay, now if user has to buy a product, so when user is going to buy is basically creating an order. So we are going to create something like that, public void place order. So in that we are going to pass the order, and with order, because we need a registered user, so it has to be the user account information also we need to pass. In case if user account is null, then it will be able to throw argument null exceptions, and it will then we can propagate it in a proper way. So user should be able to, after that, okay, so user should be able to add, remove or modify product items. So this is simple thing over the cart. In the cart we are going to have three methods: public void add product, update product, and maybe in cart, that will be better. And also with this we will need the unit as well. Update product, and also something like remove product from cart. So here we will not need the unit, only this will be enough. Okay, so buy items from the shopping cart, it will be similar to the place order. So the moment user is placing a order, it would be on that. And alongside that, they also have told us that we need to have something like cancel order. So in cancel order also we need to pass, we only need to pass the order ID, because user if the user is anyway able to place order, that means he is the one who has that ability to do that. But yeah, to be on safe side, we can pass the user account as well. Okay, now there will be add a review for the product. So in the product review, product review also, sorry, in product review also, this will be a basic method like add review. In that we can pass the whole product review. Then we can do a public void remove review. In that this whole thing will not be required, only the product review ID will be enough. Then there will be public void update review, so we can just pass the updated product review. So this will be for the product review. As you can see, user will be able to specify a shipping address while placing their order. So you can see while placing a order, we are already having shipping address detail. So our place order will be enough, like because we are passing order here, and order, we can mark this thing as a mandatory field, that we always need the order, because if the shipping address is not there, that order even shouldn't come. So those kind of conditions we can add. So cancellation, we have added. So the cancellation will only work if the order, okay, so in order status we can add one more thing as shipped. So if order dot order status, if it is shipped already, then it is, we should return from here, like we shouldn't let the user to cancel it, and user able to make payment through this. So payment, I can have one more method like public void make payment. So there we will pass the whole payment method, sorry, the whole payment object, and based on the type, debit card, credit card, cash, NEFT, we should be able to make it. And user should also be able to track a certain order. So so they are saying that user should be able to track a shipment, but shipment is anyway order shipment. So under the order, we can write something like track shipment. So when we are uh, tracking it, yeah, order. Yeah, so when we are tracking it at that point of time, we will get the whole shipment details against that particular order. So now yeah, I think we have all our requirements covered here. But the problem is our model entities is doing all the work. Like it is uh, basically having the core models or the domain or the entities. Alongside that, it has also started placing the order. It has also started canceling the order. So the problem is, like, if we see all of our classes, in our classes it is breaking the very postulate of single responsibility principle. So SRP is completely broken here, as we can see. So SRP is broken, and also like any changes that we need to do, so open closed and the list of substitution, everything will anyway break. So for that, we need to now start like segregating our classes, and in this process we will explore the DDD as well. Okay, so let's jump on to the like refactoring these things. And again, if you are following me in the previous two videos that I have covered, so how do we create domain driven design, how do I follow solid principles and everything, we have discussed in detail. So I will just touch upon a little bit. So any class that we have like this, so for example, let me take the let me take yeah, this is a this is a order class. Yeah, so if I take the order class here, so I can see like the same class is doing all this actions. So what we will try to do is we will try to keep this domain entities at one place. Okay, we will try to keep this domain entities here at one place, and we will try to Okay, so here we see our domain entities. These are the domain entities. Okay, what is happening? Not sure. Yeah, so these are our domain entities, and these things are our methods, and methods which are related to database. So in case any method that is related to the database, we will put it into our repository. Okay, and anything that is to be worked with the controller level or our UI level, that has to be moved into the service. And any external service that we will be using, when I say external service, suppose for payment we are planning to use something like Razorpay, those things will go in infrastructure. So this is the very basic idea of uh, DDD. And of course there are like much more extrapolated concepts like aggregations and all, but trust me, like those are kind of I'd say good for the academic purposes, but in practicality, like whatever the system that I have designed, I have designed so far and I have worked with, I have seen like these things are enough to design a good system, and the rest of the concepts are kind of uh, cherry on the top of the cake. So now coming into the method, let's take our approach here. So we will at first create the repositories. So I will create another folders. So this folder will be like repositories. So here we will try to identify again, as we were talking about, like any database related information, like suppose I am creating an order where it will be uh, stored, it is going to stored in the database, right? So all those details we are going to interact via the repository layer. So let's start our repository layer. At first we will write few interfaces. So our product is our one of the very important part of the repository. So let's create the interfaces around that. There will be interfaces and there will be implementation. So if I create a interface, so I will create this I product repository. So this I create repository will have few things like add product, remove product, all this information, like sorry, it will be an interface. So yeah. So as you can see, like the seller account, add product, remove product, update product, and search product. These are the very basic functionalities that we have. So if I just look into our product class here, so I see that all these methods are there. Get all product by search. Maybe I can get all products by search. I can make change of this method, and then what I can do is I can just remove all of them. So now our product class doesn't have any responsibility to add any product or update anything. It is only holding the core domain entity, and all these operations will be as part of the iProduct repository. So I will also create an implementation around it. So I will create implementations. So here we will be I will be having this iProduct repository, and I will just take the Visual Studio help to implement it. And again, I'm not going to implement all of this. This is just the construct that I'm going to use. So other than this, we will another very important thing will be like our order repository. So our order repository will have things like place order and the cancel order. So if I just go again into my interfaces, I order repository.cs. So here I might be having two main things. One is like place order, cancel order, and also the track shipment. There, I'd like to keep it under the I order repository only. So would create it like a place order. So here I will create the order. I will pass the order. So here cancel order, and along in the order we should be able to pass the user account. Okay, not required because user ID I'm anyway passing into the order. So that will be kind of a very important part. We can do like argument not implemented exception. We can throw argument not implemented exception in case the user ID is not there. And then what we can do is we can also do public um, string something like track shipment. We will create a order over there. Okay. So we have these three things in our iOrder repository, and similarly in our implementation, we are going to have order repository as this. I took help from Visual Studio and implemented all of them. Now, again, it will be like cart repository is again one of the important interfaces, I would say. So let's take the cart repository. I will create an interface for cart. Here, what we are going to add is I'm going to add okay, let me name it at first. So the first thing I'm going to add is add product and unit in cart. So this is going to specify the product and also the unit for that. And I do have our user ID already in our cart model. So you see I have my user ID. So user ID probably will be my one of my mandatory field there. So here what I'll be having is product int. So I will do like product units. I will pass here, and yeah, this will be enough. Similarly for this, I will do a update product and unit in the cart. And then it will be like remove of a certain product. So if I do remove product from cart, it will be a better naming. There I will only pass the product. So I will not need the quit or the other things. So yeah, I think this will be enough. Yeah, I think this will be enough for the iCart repository. Again, let's create that simple implementation with the help of Visual Studio. So for cart repository, I will place it something like this, and it will implement iCart repository. That's all. Now coming to product reviews. So now we have the cart, we have our order, we have our product. Now let's talk about the product reviews, how our product reviews will look like. Product reviews will be like again simple. any product uh, review that we add there. So it will have that add, update, delete functionality. So quite basic uh, database stuff. I product review repository. So here we are going to have like public void add product review, and what it will do is it will pass the product review. Okay, so we have the product review repository. So here I think for this one, maybe, sorry, not for the update, but for the delete, I think I should only have the product review ID. That's all. Okay. So product review repository is also done. Cart is done. What else? We have, oh, we haven't even added the user itself. So for user, there should be something like register, I feel. Register and log out, those kind of functionalities should be there for a user. And before that, what I will do is in product review, I will remove this add, update, delete. In the order, I will remove this three methods of place, cancel, and track shipment because I have already added them. So I will do accordingly. And okay, now payment and the user account, these two are left. So let's add something for the uh, user at first. So it will be something like iUser. Okay, what got added? Okay, this will be like, let me rename it. This will be iUser repository. Okay, so iUser repository will have something like public void register as seller. So for that, a seller account information needs to be passed. Public void, I can do something like register as generic user, something like that. Register as generic user. So in that case, I need to pass that all user account information, and or or this model can be refined a little bit like a guest user. I can create another level out of it, and there can be something like public void logout, like logout, and deregister is also something we can do. These are all something we can keep on extrapolating our implementation. So this is like, so I'm implementing this interface. I use a repository. So I have my repository as well. Now payment is something that is left. So payment will be, it is like make payment, only one method will be there. I payment repository. So iPayment repository, it will only have this public void make payment, and here which user is doing the payment, those all information will be required. Like I can pass user ID. Okay, user ID might not be required because I will anyway be passing the order ID there. So what I can do is here I can pass the order ID. So our order ID already have this thing. Look, the user ID, right? So I will not need user ID explicitly to pass, because that will be one of the mandatory argument I can make. Then there will be like payment mode. I can define that. I can define that payment mode, and I can also pass the amount. So this can be my make payment. uh, Okay, so yeah, these are pretty much it. And also one more thing is required here, that is the notification. But like I think notification, I will explain it to you how we can do it. Like with events and delegates, we can very easily create a reactive way of putting our notification around. So that I will explain it to you guys. So let me create the implementation around the iPayment repository, and then I will go to our service layer. So payment repository, I will add it for iPayment repository. I'm just implementing this interface. That's all, guys. Pretty much it. Our repository is kind of ready, and I was telling ki notification is not yet done, so we will explore that part later. Before that, let's go to our board again. So you saw, right, like we have done with this two part. Like we are done with our repositories. We are done with our like segregating all the repositories and segregating all the models. Let's revisit the model once if we are left with something. Order shipment details is there. So shipment details anyway associated with this. So we are not, I think we are good here. Like all the details we have placed. Now we have to create the service here. So what is the role of service now? So service is basically, suppose I have some controllers. Okay. So controllers means like where the UI is sending the request to get the data. Those controllers will be calling this service, and service will return, like service will get the data either from the infrastructure layer, as I was talking ki, if it is notification sort of a thing. Notification is will be a part of the infrastructure, right? Because so sorry, well, not notification. Notification is of course will be type of the infrastructure. I was talking about the payment at first. So payment will be part of the infrastructure. Why? I will also come about the notification, but let's talk about payment first. So infrastructure, because it will be like any third party like Razorpay or Paytm we are going to use for our payment integration. And for our notification, like suppose if we are sending something, some email, so those email will be done either via SendGrid. If we are taking any push notification, then in that case we are going to use something like one signal, or there are other push notification services as well. Now, this services, this what it generally does is it takes the uh, repository plus any kind of infra that is involved. I don't know what is happening to my spelling today. Yeah, so it will take all the repository, and it will take all the infra in account, and all this repository and infra together it will get the data from and do the operations of updating and pushing the data back, and then it get data back to the controllers. And controllers again, like if it is it can be something like a um, any UI. It can be something like any API. So it can be anything like that. Okay. So this is pretty much it, like what this controllers and service and repository infra together works in domain driven design. So we are going to separate separately write the services now. So services, talking coming to the services, we got to understand one thing, that services we can always create interface around it, but here for our time sake, because we are not going to consume it in our controller, we are limiting our design to service. So we are going to write it as a simple classes. We are not going to create the we are not going to create like the dependency injection around controllers with the service. So okay, let's take the service now. So at first, the most important will be of course the order service. So in the order service, we will be having a few important things like order repository and a notification repository. Both we will require here. Okay, and all because order will send the order should be able to send the notification as well, that the moment any order status changes. So there has to be some kind of a reference to the notification repository, but we haven't written it yet. Our in our interfaces. So let's first create these interfaces now. Yeah, this is the beauty of the design again, guys. While designing, sometime we understand that okay, this part we haven't really completed. So I will create this I notification I notification repository, and implementation will be notification repository. So it will be really simplistic here. We will put some kind of a send notification method. We will change this send notification method later. Okay, so we will just put it as a, sorry, it will be not here. It will be in our iNotification interface. It will be for send notification. Okay, so we will come around the details of it later, but let's take order service for the time being. So in the order service, in the constructor, we are going to have things like I order repository. So this will have the order repository in place. We will also have our I notification repository, and we will also have I payment repository. Interestingly, this payment repository shouldn't be part of uh, the actual repositories, because payment, as I was talking, it will be part of infrastructure. So how this class structure needs to be modified is, we will create our infrastructure. So under infrastructure, we will again just create two folders of interfaces and implementations. So our interfaces of I payment repository needs to be taken there at first. So I will take it here. Okay. And I will rename it. This will be iPayment service, and this payment repository will go to the implementations, and this is again also I will rename it as payment service. So now I have my now currently there is nothing like iPayment repository as you saw. So we have iPayment service here, and Visual Studio auto corrected it. It's a like I would not say an excellent tool, but like this is, it has some good features. So all these things that like order repository, notification repository, and payment service are being initiated here. Suppose now from controller any method is being called, like public void place order. So in that case, if the order is being passed here, so here the order repository will be calling the place order. Any logic that change behind the scenes, we will not be worried here. Any database, suppose today we are using SQL Server, tomorrow we go into a completely a NoSQL thing like MongoDB, or a managed NoSQL like DynamoDB. In that case also these things will be totally intact. We will not be we, we we don't need to worry about them. So public void cancel order, if we are doing something like this, so again this will be like order repository cancel order of that particular cancellation of that particular order. Now the interesting thing will be around the making of the payment. Okay, so now if we are just having a payment request, so for a certain order by a certain user, so these two things will be required here. So at first we need to get the order value by any means. So for that I will probably write some kind of a private method which will calculate the order. So if I pass the order, and how it will be is, sorry, it will probably return it. We have to write that logic, and in the payment service we are going to make the payment. So um, we will just pass the order dot order ID, and we are going to make the, okay, so one more thing we will need to pass here is payment mode, so mode of the payment, and then the order value. That's all. Yeah, then the order value. Now this is kind of a complete implementation right now for making the order and making the payment. But one thing that we haven't handled yet is uh, like that notification, sending the notification or tracking the shipment status. So what I'm imagining is, suppose I have this controllers, right? So these controllers will probably have some kind of a webhook to something which will get the request to update the shipment status, and that shipment status will be then propagated to the rest of the part. So let's think around this a little bit. Okay, what we can do is we can go back to our order shipment details model. So here we had a property called current shipment status. So the moment something changes, what we can do is we can make change to this current shipment status. And to control that change, what we can do is we can create a private string of, we can create a private field of this. So this is going to be a backing field of this current shipment status. And then what we are going to do is we are going to definitely get the current shipment status from here at the time of getting, and the set, it will be a little interesting. So we are going to set the value, and alongside that what we are also going to do is we are going to cre- s- like uh, create a method here. So the method will be like on shipment status change. Now this is going to be a very interesting method. So what this method will do is the moment any of sorry the moment our current shipment status changes, it will be calling the shipment status change method. Okay, so so uh, this shipment status change, so what this shipment status change will do. Now here, interesting concept of event and delegate we can use. So any event that we raise, we can raise it from here, and that event can be subscribed by anyone. So now coming to this pattern. So what we can do is we can create our own events here. Look into this part a little carefully, because this is again even many senior engineers sometimes while writing the code they might get confused, like what exactly the events, and where should I write my events, and how should we consume across the classes. So just see here. So when I am creating a certain event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass some values to that event, like shipment ID, what is the new status, at what time it has changed. So all those values needs to be go into something called event args. So I am going to do something like shipment status changed event args, some class I'm going to create. Okay, so this class will be uh, putting is a type of event args. So event arg is basically it contains any event data. Now why we are using it, we will come to know in some time. Okay, so I will create few things like with the shipment ID, the new status, and also like in this constructor of this event arc change, I'm going to pass all of this thing, this grid shipment ID. So I have created this class, and one of the main thing of this class will be like I should be able to have a um delegate around it. So delegate we generally declare outside class. So it will be like delegate void shipment status change event handler. Yeah, these names are generally a big for our understanding we have to give. And this event args will be this event arg will be the name of this class. So now coming back to our order service. Okay, coming back to our order service, uh, we are going to, okay, not in order service, we are where we are going to, okay, we are going to make the changes in the order shipment details. So in order shipment details, anytime any change happens of this current time, we are going to create a reference to that event. Okay, so public event. So I'm going to have this event handler here. So this event handler I wrote in this part, right? So this event handler, I'm creating a reference for this. And what I'm going to do is anytime this is changed, I'm going to invoke this event handler from here. So this thing will have like shipment ID, shipment status, and yeah, what date time now. So okay, in case it is not clear, I'm just revisiting it again. So I have created a particular event handler and I have dictated here what will be the event args will be part of that event handler. Now I'm creating one reference of this event handler here in my order shipment detail class, and I am telling that whenever any shipment status is getting changed, please invoke this. Now the advantage is anywhere in my application, I my like I subscribe to this particular change of shipment status changed. I create any chain of events anytime that will get fired the moment the current shipment status is getting changed. Again, we can do it even using iNotify property change, but I don't want to confuse you. iNotify property change is C# specific, but if you are using in Java or C# or any other popular object-oriented programming, this is a very popular the event delegation pattern. So how we will conclude it in our order service, that will be something interesting to see. So we will go to our order service, and what we are going to do is we are going to have another method called uh, public void something like update shipment status. So here we will definitely pass the order. Okay. Now our order has order dot shipment details. Okay. So I will create a reference. I will just hold it in a variable here in our order shipment details. And what I will do is this order shipment has this particular event. Okay, you see this event mark is coming on, right? So I'm going to use this, and this will create this particular method that order shipment status got changed. Okay, now whenever this thing will be changed, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to tell key, look, I have my notification. Okay, now I have my shipment status changed. Now from here, please send the notification. And in that notification, suppose whatever the details I want to send, I can easily get it from here. Okay, so generally our notification can have some kind of a like status change time or new status or something. Okay, although our notification is currently not defining anything, so it is getting this error. So I can always put something like new status, and there one more place I need to make the change is that implementation. Yeah, so this new status will be there. So now we have a very good event driven system. Now what I have done is I will just revisit. I have created an event handler. That particular event handler I have started referencing it into the order shipment details. In the order shipment details, I'm telling that anytime the status gets changed, please invoke this particular event handler. And I am handling, I am subscribing to this event handler with my methods here. So the moment any change in the order shipment happens, I'll be notified here. So this is a completely disjointed observable thing we have designed here, and we can, like in any other class also, the moment we are having a reference of order, if we are listening to that particular shipment status change, we'll be able to notify that particular method's classes and things as well. Suppose there is another instance we have, like in payment we have something. So in the payment service, if we want to do anything, we just have to uh, like subscribe to this one. Like there can be multiple subscription of this. I can again create this shipment status changed, and I can maybe uh, just just for that, like in payment service, suppose I am creating another method, the moment some status is being changed, do something. So all this process can be, like this chain of event can be, chain of delegation can be uh, done over here. Now this one was the core of this application. When we are talking about uh, our orders, our e-commerce or any system like that, this part of ordering is the core. Like when I'm placing an order, how I'm exactly tracking. So I think the detailed discussion that we did over here, it helped you in some way to understand how e-commerce system to be designed. And also the thing that we have covered over here is we covered the basic classes. We covered why the association among the classes might not be a good idea when we were discussing about the product reviews. Why we cannot just create why we shouldn't, we always can create the product reviews, but lazy loading will be a problem there. How we can make our classes solid compliant, how we can do the domain driven design, and at last we used a simple delegation pattern there. So again, that is not a designated pattern, but it is a very important delegation pattern that we always use. So it doesn't really come under singleton or abstract factory, or little bit maybe it has some relation with the observable pattern, but observable is again something different. But this design pattern we discussed here. So we have covered all these things, and the one more interesting exercise will be how the tables are panned out here. But tables, I'm not again going into details, because tables can be done in numerous ways. Like I can create references among the product category, and like I can create this tables of orders and product in a different way I want. So I will keep it to your own imagination, how you want to do the foreign key relationships, how you want to handle it, and it will be a very good brainstorming for you as well. Please do that. So here I am concluding this video. I hope you got some understanding around it, and in case you have any question, please comment on the please put it on the comment section. I will try my level best to answer that. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.